Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. We're going to talk about this one. This is the Age of Opulence, which is the new palette by DUPE. We are going to do two looks. That's usually what I do when I get a new palette. I do a first and a second impression and we're going to do some swatches. I'm also going to compare it to this palette. Did this come last year? I feel like this was last year. This was the Book of Magic palette and we are going to compare and see if they are similar. And yeah, we're just going to see if this is a palette worth picking up or not, because DUPE has been pretty hyped lately and you seem to really enjoy it, and so do I, so let's dig into it. And if you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty makeup. I love everything beauty makeup related. I love playing with makeup. I love finding new favorites. I love finding old favorites as well, you know, rediscovering your collection. I especially love playing with colors. If you want to see some more color in your timeline, if you want to see some more makeup brands on your timeline, things you might not see on every other channel, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week. Pretty sure that this is the DUPE holiday collection of 2021. They didn't release this as a full collection. There was also a neutral palette in this collection, but I didn't buy that one because I'm not all about the neutrals. There was also some lipsticks and some loose pigments, but again, I didn't buy those either. I just bought the palette because I wanted to compare it to the palette from last year. This was a very limited edition palette. This is the Book of Magic palette. It came, it conquered, it disappeared. And it never came back. And I'm just going to show you side by side of these two palettes. I'm going to be honest with you, when I first saw them, I was like, oh, they're doing the same palette again. But these are not dupes. These are not the similar palette. I would say some of the differences is that the new palette is darker than the old palette. The new palette also has some more goldy neutrally shimmers that the old palette does not have. The old palette, the Book of Magic, also has some more lighter pastel-y mattes that the new palette does not have. And another big difference is that some of the shades that are warm toned in this one is cool toned in this one. Like there are warm tone purples in this one and there are cool tone purples in this one. And these blues are a little bit more minty, and here you have some more like more true blue. So there's definitely a difference, but I will be honest, they're a similar vibe. This palette is $20. Usually the DUPE formula is $15 for a size like this. If you didn't know, like the Wilderness palette, that is the exact same size, which is restocked by the way. I will leave a link to that one as well down below in case you were thinking of getting that. They said they weren't gonna restock, but they did. That one is $15 and this one is $20. I don't know if they are intending to raise the price. Sometimes things happen with production and transports and stuff that makes brands have to raise the prices. I don't know why this one is $20 and the other one is not. I will say I don't love the packaging of this one. I feel like it's a little bit meh, but this one swatches like an absolute dream. Like an absolute dream. This one has so many dark and yummy mattes, and you know I love that. This is a little bit matte heavy, which is something that I love. If I would say that the only thing that I don't love about this one is that there are no really light mattes unless you're doing the two light, like neutral mattes. And there are also not really any light shimmers. This one is very dark heavy. It is dark and mid-tone, and I love that. Listen, I love that, but I will be honest, I probably will like match this one with something that's a little bit more lighter leaning in the future. But I'm just saying that this is very dark and very mid-tone heavy, so if you like more lighter looks, this is probably not the palette for you. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I will save that towards the end, but I bought another one. So I have a double, I bought two, and I will have a little giveaway towards the end of the video if you wanted to own this palette for yourself. So stay to the end of the video and I will let you know how you can win your own palette. Okay, so I'm gonna play with this one here and this one here. They are called Speak Easy and Dandy. I'm gonna start with the Speak Easy. I have noticed, if you hear something in the background, by the way, I think they're blowing leaves outside. Because I hear something, but I'm not 100% sure if the microphone is picking it up. But I have noticed with these colors from DUPE that if I want them to be like opaque and really show up like they are in the pan, I need to start with the darkest one and blend out with the lightest one. So that is what I'm gonna do today. It's just something that I noticed. This is going on a little bit patchy. Don't love that. Maybe I can just pack it on and make it work. But these are, or am I just blind? No, it is going on a little bit patchy. I don't love that. But these are very dark mattes as well, but maybe I can fix that at the end, but maybe it's the primer. You know what, let me see if I can just apply. Listen, you can apply a little bit more primer and just blend it out and then go over. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's doable. You can do that. It's a little bit better. It might be the primer. I'm gonna use another primer with the next look and we'll see if it's the primer that's acting up. But yeah, I've noticed with this formula that I get a better result if I start with the darkest and blend it out with the lightest, at least from my experience. I did get some fallout here, so I'm gonna see if I can find something to get rid of that with. Seem to not find anything. Let's see if we have the same issue on this side or if it was just a one-time thing. No, it is a little bit patchy here as well. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna do a little bit of this darkest one under my eyes as well. Just like I did here at the outer part of the lower lash line. Now I'm taking this shade Dandy, which is a lighter shade, and I'm literally, you can see I'm putting it on the edge. Not even above, but I'm putting it on the edge. And I'm just, with small circular motions, I'm pushing this into the other shadow. And we are going to blend that with a clean brush in a bit. I'm just forcing a gradient. Now I'm taking a clean brush, and with this clean brush, I am going to blend on this edge and diffuse this until I have something that I feel like I can live with. This is my plan. I might pick up a little bit more of this at the end, but you can see it's picking up on the brush, which means that there is pigment here to blend with. If it didn't pick up anything on the brush, I probably would have picked up a little bit more color to blend with. But since it is picking up, it shows that there are pigment here that is blending around. And therefore I am satisfied with just moving around the pigment that is here. I'm just gonna soften up this edge. Not trying to make it perfect. Again, I'm not here trying to do perfect makeup. I'm just trying to be good enough. I'm a Monet, okay? You need to step back and appreciate. I'm just showing you this up like really close so you can see what I'm doing. But listen, if people are so close to you and your makeup that they can see your quote-unquote mistakes, they are too close. Listen, it's social distancing. Tell them to take a step back and appreciate the Monet. Okay, this turned very, very smoky. I will say it is a little, you can see, yeah, you can see it is a little patchy here. I'm gonna try the second look with another primer just to see if it's like the primer or if it's like the eyeshadows. I'm gonna use this like turquoisey blue shimmer here because I really, really want to use this one. And I want to put this all over the lid, and it's swatched like a dream, and I really think that it's gonna complement this and just like not make it a monochromatic look. So let me see if I can actually cover up this part with some shimmer. When in doubt, cover up the patchiness with shimmer. Usually the shimmers from Beauty Bay crease on me, so I'm gonna try and make sure to really spread this out and work it in as good as possible and see if I can like prevent some of the creasing. But yeah, I really feel like these colors go together. It creates a really pretty look. There are no inner corner highlights for me in this palette, so I think I'm gonna use like a blue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use like a blue duochrome highlighter. You know, like iridescent blue in the corner, something like that. I think that's gonna be pretty. Oh, and if you're wondering about any of the other makeup items that I'm wearing, everything is linked in the description box, like this lipstick and the foundation and everything. But yeah, I think that this is gonna be the finished look. Let me find something for my inner corners and let me do some mascara and I'll show you how it hopefully comes together. Okay, so this is the look. I did use some Moon Cruiser, which is like a duochrome highlighter from Kaleidos in my inner corners, and I used a blue LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in Electric in my waterline because I wanted to tie in with the blue, so it is a purple and blue look. I was able to buff out a little bit of the patchiness out here, but it's still not 100%, and I don't know if it's this primer because I used the Be Perfect primer for this look, and this is not a primer that I normally use. Not that I hate it, it's just not my favorite, so I'm gonna use one of my favorite primers when I do look number 2, just to see if it was just that, like a really dark purple. It's not that easy to like formulate and to perfect, so it could definitely be that. But let me put on some falsies, let me finish this look up, and we can just see how it looks. Okay, so this is the first look. No, I don't think I have lipstick on my teeth. Like I said, everything will be linked down below if you're wondering about any of these things. I think the color combo is stunning. It's a little bit patchy, I had to work with it a little bit more, like I said, but I still love the look. I think it looks amazing. I'm actually gonna film one more video wearing this because I love it so much. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then, well, for you, I'm just gonna get into another look, but you will see this look in another video that's coming soon because I am very much feeling myself with this. So let's just get into look number 2. Look number 2, and I want to do something blue. I want to use this in the corner. It's called Lavish. And I think I'm actually going to start with this darkest blue here though. And then I'm going to blend it out with this one. And I think we're doing one of the champagne-y colors. Actually, I think we're doing this Crush. This Crush is a almost greenish champagne that has a pink base, and I think we're gonna do a halo eye. That is the plan. That is what we're doing. That is what we're doing. I just want to try these blue. I really like that there is a black in here as well. You know, I love a black. I don't think I'll be using it for any of these looks though, but I love that it's here. And I'm using the Natasha Denona primer now. I'm having the old packaging, but this primer is a really good primer. And I'm hoping I'm not gonna have any issues with this one under. So I'm starting with this darkest blue, and I'm gonna put that both in the outer corner, outer corner and inner corner. I'm a mess. Like that, and I'm gonna blend it. Oh, that's sexy. And I'm gonna blend it out with that slightly lighter blue. That is sexy though, isn't it? I'm just small wiggly motions, just pressing it in to the primer. Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, I'm gonna keep it like this and blend it out with the slightly lighter blue. I'm using some of this Lavish shade, which is the slightly lighter blue, and I'm using very light strokes, and I'm just building on top, and I'm also gonna be blending a little bit on the edges to make it a little bit more on the blue side, and also to lighten up the edges. I will say this palette is pretty dark. It's not a lot of shades for someone my skin tone to use as a transition color or a blending color or an inner corner highlight, which is, I mean, if you're a deeper skin tone, I feel like this palette is probably amazing for you because there's not going to be any throwaway shades, not any like filler shades. You're going to be able to basically use all the shades in your crease, except these two maybe lighter nudes, but I mean, I don't use those either. But those could be really good, probably highlight and lid shades for you. But this is a palette that I would love mixing and matching with a pastel palette. This would be such a good palette to mix with the pastel palette. Pastel palettes are like the best companion palettes. I think that I'm gonna keep it like this and try to not get blue everywhere. Am I succeeding? Nobody knows. Let's see if I can do something with a brush that doesn't have any. This one is a fresh brush. I'm just gonna blend a little bit on the edge with this fresh brush. No additional product. I think I'm gonna keep it like that and just something similar in here to keep it really dark but still very much like a blue. And I never combine my halo eyes. I like when they're open. That's just my personal preference because I have a little bit of hoods and I like my halo eyes to be open. If you want another shape, I think that if you haven't decided yet what kind of shape you prefer, don't forget to experiment with different eye shapes to find something that you feel comfortable in. It's not about even what's most like pretty, because I mean, makeup isn't necessarily about being pretty, it's about having fun. Just find something that you feel is fun. I'm actually gonna use a glitter glue. I don't usually use that, but I'm gonna see if it okay, let me rephrase. I don't think that if things crease on me, they don't crease less if I use glitter glue. That is my personal opinion. If things crease on me, they will crease whether or not I use glitter glue. Glitter glue even makes things crease more on me sometimes. So we are just gonna see if this helps with this formula, because I already know that this formula creases on me. This is the Shadow Crush, so I'm just gonna do a experiment for science, and we are gonna see if glitter primer helps with this formula. Usually it does not for me. If it creases, it creases. It doesn't matter if it's a glitter primer or not on my eyelids. But we're gonna see if maybe it helps with this one. You know, for science. So I'm just packing it on from the middle, like where I left off, all the way up, and I pat it on all the way up here. I actually used quite little of both the shimmer and the glitter primer, so it actually might help, because I usually I pack it on because I want things to be opaque. But maybe since it is such a creamy formula, I need to use less. I will use a little bit of this Decadent, which is the shimmery one down here, and I'm just gonna take a little bit on my brush. I'm not gonna spray it, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just doing a little bit, and I'm just gonna blend that on the edge so that the edge, it's so much easier to mix a shimmer into a shimmer, especially if it's colors that don't naturally mix together, like a dark blue and a champagne. That's why I'm using this shimmer that is the same as the matte, because it's gonna blend these shadows so much easier together without creating a harsh line. I do really like how this is looking. I think it looks really cool and dramatic. I will say I missed something lighter to blend it out with. I'm actually gonna grab a pastel palette, and we are gonna blend the edges a little bit, and I'm gonna put the pastel in the inner corners just to show you how I would match this with a pastel palette. I'm also gonna do some mascara and something in my waterline while I'm searching for this pastel palette. I actually decided to bring out the Opal palette, which is the Birthstone palette from BH Cosmetics for this month, and I decided to bring this one out because it has a really nice, I'm trying to find a good brush. Is that a cat hair? Has a really good pastel blue, so we are gonna use this one, and I'm just dipping in a little bit, and we are just gonna work on the edge a bit. That is so pigmented, maybe too pigmented, and I'm gonna go over this again, but I just need to clean this up a little bit because it is looking a little bit choppy since this blue here is just a little bit too dark. I probably would have put this shadow on first had this been in a palette, or had I known that it's gonna be too dark. But like here, I'll go in with the dark blue on top. But like, look at how good it becomes when you put a little blue on the edge here. Such a difference. Now I'm using that middle blue again, the Lavish, and I'm just gonna put a little bit more on, and I'm just gonna blend into this, into this pastel, so it is just a little bit smoother. I'm not trying to create like Instagram makeup here, but I mean, a bitch can try. It just becomes a little bit more believable when it's like something a little lighter that is blended into. In my humble opinion, I think it looks better, but you might not agree, and that's perfectly fine, to be honest. I love blending into, now I'm using the darkest blue. I love blending into a pastel when I want to have a fully like, I don't know, fully colorful look that doesn't look too sharpy. Pastels are perfect for that, and I felt like this made a world of difference. So if you do have some pastels at home, don't be afraid to use them for something like this. I'm also gonna use that same pastel color, what is it called, Emotional. I'm gonna grab some of it on a pencil brush and I am gonna stamp it in my inner corner. Do you see how good that one is? I'm gonna stamp it in my inner corners as like a inner corner highlight. Okay, I really love this look now. I feel like this little pastel moment made a whole lot of difference, at least in my opinion. I feel like I like it even more now. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is really hard to work with super dark, saturated, colorful mattes, but I do like this look. Don't be afraid to mix and match palettes. Listen, even if a brand is telling you that these colors go together and you don't agree, do whatever you want. Remember to mix and match, and if you do have a pastel palette, it works really good with this palette. So I'm gonna put some lashes on and we can have some final thoughts about what I feel about this palette. The look is finished and I really do enjoy this look, but I will say that last pastel definitely, like, it made the look a little better for me. And I think that if I'm gonna be honest, if I'm comparing like these two together, this one, it has a lot of those shades that I really love, like those dark and yummy, like warm berries and blues, and I love that. But I think that the color selection, like the composition of this palette is better, because this palette is dark and light. The other one is mainly dark, and this one has more options. Like, I love this pastel mint, the pastel like pinky purple, and the light blue here. It gives this palette a little more options and versatility. I also think that if you have this one, this will be a really good option to match together, but I also think that it might be a little bit redundant. It depends on how much do you love these tones. If you love these tones, and these are tones that you wear a lot, yes, this could be really good together. But if this is the kind of palette that you only reach for once or twice, every now and then, let's say, I don't think you need the other one as well. I did have a little problem blending some of these out. I do think it looks really good now though, but it could be that they are extremely matte. Like, there is no satin in these at all, no pearl in these at all. When shadows are a little satin or have a little pearl in them, it does make them slightly easier to blend, makes them a little less patchy, and also they are very deep and dark and colorful, and that can sometimes also make shadows a little harder to formulate. This is a very affordable palette. I mean, how many shades does this have? 15, 20 shades? 20 shades for $20, pretty big pans. I mean, it is an affordable palette, but still, I did have a little issue with them. Nothing that I couldn't work around, but I'm just letting you know it wasn't 100% effortless. I haven't seen any creasing yet, because I mean, I've only had this on for like a couple of minutes now, the shimmers. I will be editing this video today, like the video is going up today. When I'm editing this, I will be having this look on, so I will pop up a little poppy thing here whether or not they creased with the glitter glue, because it's gonna take me about an hour to get to this point of editing, and if they did crease, they will have creased by then, because these shadows do crease within like 4 to 5 minutes for me. So I like it, but I don't like it as much as the Book of Magic, but I still think it's a really good palette, especially for the price, and especially if you're my skin tone or lighter, especially if you match it with something else to use as transition shades, because this palette doesn't offer transition shades for my skin tone and lighter, which is perfectly fine. Let's be honest, I am not salty about that. I'm just letting you know that this could be a really good palette to mix in with something that you have that is already light. Yes, I had another one. I do have one here. I told you I was gonna do a giveaway. It's the same palette. This one's still in the packaging. This one actually comes, let me show you. It actually comes in this bubble wrapped within the packaging, and I haven't opened this one at all. I will have a little giveaway that you can win your own copy. I still think it's a good palette. I don't think it's bad, and that's why I bought another one, because I was pretty sure I was gonna like the palette. Even though I still think the Book of Magic is better, I still think that this is a good palette. I mean, look at this. Especially if you like darker, jewel-toned, dramatic, colorful makeup like me, I do think you're gonna have a lot of fun with this palette. So I wanted to give one away. All you have to do is be subscribed and leave a comment down below letting me know that you want to be entered in the giveaway. I will have in a pinned comment the rules and when this giveaway is ending and how I'm announcing the winner and all of that. I always get questions. When are you announcing the winner? How are you announcing the winner? How do you enter the competition? And always I see people that are not following the 2 simple rules that I have. So make sure that you read the pinned comment before you ask your question or before you enter the giveaway, because my giveaways are so easy. I don't like complicated giveaways. You don't have to take, this is not taking on a part-time job. It's just entering a giveaway, but make sure you read the pinned comment first so you're actually entered in the giveaway. But yeah, I'm gonna have it open for just a short time this time around, and I will ship you the palette. Of course, it's gonna be shipped internationally. Don't worry about that, but read the pinned comment and please subscribe, even if you don't want to be a part of the giveaway. And if you don't want to be part of the giveaway and you still want to put a comment, just comment as usual and just don't put in the comment that you want to be entered in the giveaway. That's it. That's everything. Like I said, please do subscribe. I'd love to see you on my channel. I'm gonna have a video tomorrow as well, and I'm super excited to be showing you tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video is gonna be awesome. I hope you come back and see tomorrow's video because I'm super excited. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.